everybody, my name is Nanners, and if you watched my previous video, I said some things about wanting to use this channel as also like a personal vlog channel documenting my transition from high school to college and kind of talking about my experience and the issues that I face or that I'm currently facing and seeing if anyone else can relate to that. There is something flying around my drink. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing today because I'm going to talk about how I got accepted into only one college because I only applied to one college, and kind of talk about my thoughts and my takes around the stigma of applying to a ton of schools. So at my school the year before, we had a superstar graduating class of seniors. Like, everyone was in National Honor Society, everybody was super involved in everything, and we had quite a few kids actually get accepted into Ivy League schools and get a ton of scholarship money. And it was really no different for this class of seniors. We are such a competitive class. We're always comparing ourselves to each other. Like, the class ranks are neck to neck. Like, you know, there's like that select group of students that literally do it all and are like the embodiment of perfect student that every parents have. We have like an entire community of those. I'd say there's like 120 of those kids at my school. And then there are kids like me and kind of like my friend circle who could be those kids but aren't for whatever reason, literally because we're just not that driven and we only do like one or two things but we're good at them. But like all the seniors, they're in National Honor Society, Beta Club, Best Buddies, they do theater, they play an instrument, they play a sport, they have their social lives, and they do it all. They drive, they have their car, they're wonderful. They're perfect little seniors. And I do about half of that. I started this semester doing everything, but then it was taking a big toll on my mental health, so I scaled it back to just my normal magnet program class, orchestra, and beta club, and that's it. Now, what does this have to do with college applications and college acceptances? Normally, when you're applying for colleges, you apply early, you fill out your FAFSA, you apply for scholarships, you do all of that. And I wanted to do all of that, I just didn't. I mean, I started filling out my college application, but the second they started asking questions that were longer than a sentence, I kind of gave up. I didn't do it, and then I looked at individual applications for schools, and again, same thing. It was too much for me. I wouldn't recommend anyone doing this ever under any circumstances because I really regret it. I feel like I could have gotten into a lot of schools and gotten a lot of scholarship money if I actually applied myself, which was another thing. I had like this deep fear of applying to schools because I wasn't as competitive as a lot of the other applicants from my school. Like, my SAT score is an 1170, which is enough for the Florida Bright Futures. I live in Florida, so because of my GPA and my SAT score, I can get like 75% of my tuition paid, but you can get 100% of your tuition paid and $300 per book if you have a 1290 or higher on the SAT. And I just have that normal 1170, that average score, and my GPA is a 3.5, again, kind of average at a school when we have kids with like 4.8s who take a trillion AP classes and do all that. So I was very self-conscious of applying because I'm just an in-state student applying to in-state schools, and we have a lot of good kids in state. Who even knows like what's coming in from out of state? Like, do I even stand a chance? So my own fear kind of held me back from applying to schools. So I was going to apply to USF. I got a USF sweatshirt. I really was into their journalism program, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I was going to apply to FSU, but I saw like the kind of GPA and SAT score they were looking for, and I just missed that mark. And I know that colleges always accept a few students under that GPA, but it's normally students who are exceptional at something else. And even though I do orchestra and I do theater, I am not an exceptional violinist or an exceptional actress or singer or dancer. So again, that discouraged me, and I didn't apply to FSU either. And then I was going to apply to, I think it was UF, but UF is like, I wasn't even in the running. So I just pushed that off. I'm just like, And then there were private schools. I originally wanted to go into like animation and illustration and get my illustration degree and like go work for Cartoon Network or something. So I was looking at Ringling, which is here in Florida, CalArts, because anyone who's anyone in animation went to CalArts, SVA, and SCAD. And I applied to absolutely none of those schools because I realized that art school is kind of overrated, very overpriced, and I didn't even have a portfolio together to apply, and there was no way I was going to put together a portfolio in a few months to apply for this school. I just didn't have the time, I didn't have the drive, and around that time I was debating if animation was even something I still wanted to do, and I'm so glad I didn't waste the time or money applying to those schools because I found out that I didn't. But even when I was 100% convinced that I wanted to do animation and the only way to get me to my dream of being a showrunner was going to one of these schools, I still couldn't bring myself to do it because I was still comparing myself left and right to the kids who are in my AP art class who are really good, and then like these superstar animation YouTubers who will be applying to art school too, I'm assuming, for whatever reason. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm just like, there are kids my age making professional level work and selling commissions, and I'm going to compete with that to go into CalArts or to go into Ringling or SVA or SCAD. I wouldn't want to be in my I wouldn't want to like do that. I don't want to put myself out there and embarrass myself with my less than exceptional art. Now I know that's like a very toxic mindset of thinking, and I shouldn't have thought that way to begin with, but that was the main reason that was holding me back from applying to schools and applying to scholarships too. I have still not applied for a single scholarship. I only have the Florida Bright Futures right now, and not looking good because I only get the 75%. But I didn't even apply for scholarships because I'm just like, I am so average and mediocre. How would I even measure up to anyone? So I filled out my FAFSA and I was kind of just waiting around, kind of just like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I kind of have to go to college. I don't really have any other plans. I've been like trained from day one, like I'm college bound. There's no other plan for me personally. It's college or nothing. There are other options out there, but my whole life has been pointing me towards college, so of course I have to apply to at least one school. And the one school that I applied to was UCF. And I was going to apply to UCF anyway. It was one of those schools that was on my list of schools I didn't apply to, because I do dual enrollment at my high school with the local community college, and they have a program called Direct Connect, where if you get your associate's degree from that community college, you get automatically guaranteed acceptance to UCF. And I was planning on getting my associate's degree from that community college and using the Direct Connect to UCF, but since I would still be going in as a first-time college student, I still had to apply as like a freshman and submit my SAT scores and GPA. It wasn't like I was applying as a transfer student, so I was still competing with that very, very strong applicant pool. So I applied for UCF, and there was an essay that I had to write, and I kind of wrote like a really mediocre essay. It kind of sounded like a pageant girl speech. I wrote about how I love people and how I'm very social and how I'd be a great addition to UCF because I like knowing people from all walks of life. It was stupid. I knew it was stupid. My parents knew it was stupid when I read it, but I was just so done and so stressed out about college applications, and the deadline, like the priority deadline, was really creeping up on me, so I went ahead and submitted it and submitted my $200 admission fee because I just wanted to get it over with. And my parents were mad. I was disappointed in myself. I was just glad I got it in. So we're waiting to hear back, and then one Saturday it comes in the mail, and it's a letter from UCF, and I got accepted. Yay! I have committed because I didn't apply to any other schools. There wasn't any question about that. I have committed and I've paid all of my dues, and I'm in the process of getting the rest of that admission documentation in, but I didn't get accepted for the fall. I got accepted for the summer. And for those of you who don't know what that means, getting accepted for the summer kind of means like, yeah, you were good, you were really good, but you're just not good enough to be a part of our metrics for the fall. Because if, like, a lot of colleges, they take all of their data from incoming freshman students for the fall semester. And for the colleges to have the best data to put out and to advertise their program with, they want to accept the best of the best to boost their overall, like, incoming freshman GPA, SAT score, AP scores, whatever. And I did not make that cut. So getting accepted for the summer it meant to me that you're good, but not good enough to be in the fall. In my mind, I was really hard on myself about that because I'm like, wow, I was so bad that my scores and my GPA would have brought down the overall school incoming freshman average. Like, what does that say about me? But I shouldn't have been disappointed about that at all, because I got accepted to UCF with an application that wasn't even that great. And I'm happy for that. And I visited the campus, I picked my major, all of that is set, and I know that that's where I'm supposed to be. But looking back at it, I really could have applied for more schools. I just had to get that fear out of my head that there wasn't a chance for me because I wasn't competitive, or I wasn't like everyone else, and that I didn't measure up. Now I've kind of gotten rid of that toxic kind of thinking, but it's too late. So yeah, that was my college application experience, and I just wanted to share it all with you guys. If you guys have experienced something similar, or anything, or I don't know, just if you guys want to talk to me, I don't know, you can say something in the comments below. I do really want to know if people have felt similar about applying to college, and like this fear that you're not good enough if you don't have a 5.0 GPA and 1300 SAT score. So yeah, it was really cool getting this off my chest. I want to do more videos, kind of just updating on how it's going and my previous struggles with things like this. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. This is your girl, Nanners, out.